For this question, which is a higher question, there are quite a few little steps involved, okay? Now, if you get a question like this, my advice is to be patient with it, take your time, and trust in the individual bits of maths that you know you can do, okay? So, this question is about simplifying a fraction that involves surds. So, the first thing I'm going to think about, the first thing I'm going to remember from my lessons is that I'm probably going to need to rationalize the denominator, okay? We don't want a surd on the denominator if we can help it, okay? But if you look at this, we've got a slight little sting in the tail there because the denominator is actually, it's been factorized, it's in bracket form. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the denominator and I'm going to multiply it through so that I get the actual answer, okay? So 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times negative root 2, and 3 times negative root 2 is negative 6 root 2. And then negative root 2 times negative root 2 is positive 2, okay? So my denominator is going to look like that. I can simplify it, which will give me 11 minus 6 root 2. So I've got that now. So I can rewrite my fraction as 1 plus root 2 over 11 minus 6 root 2. So we've got rid of that power, which is good. Don't be tempted at this point to try and cancel by root 2 because, of course, you can only do that if there is a root 2 in every term, and there are 4 terms there. There's a 1, a root 2, an 11, and a negative 6 root 2. In a situation like this, what I need to do is I'm going to use the idea of the difference of 2 squares, and I'm going to multiply this by the positive version of this denominator, so 11 plus 6 root 2. And of course I'm going to have the same at the top because I'm not changing it, I'm just rationalizing the denominator. So I look at the first bit and you can see that I'm going to end up with 121 plus 66 root 2 minus 66 root 2, because of course with difference of 2 squares those bits go, and then all I need to do is I need to work out negative 6 root 2 multiplied by positive 6 root 2, and of course that will be, 6 times 6 is 36, and root 2 times root 2 is 2, so it will be that, and I'm taking away because I've got a negative and a positive, so that eventually will lead to 121 take away 72, which gives my denominator as 49, okay? So I've done all that step and I've got my denominator now. Now I need to work on the numerators, okay? So I need to do 1 plus root 2 multiplied by, I don't know why I wrote a multiply there, 11 plus 6 root 2, okay? Now both of these are positive, which we just need to make sure we're aware of because the previous calculation had a positive and a negative. So the first I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 times 11 is 11. Then I'm going to do 1 times 6 root 2 is 6 root 2. Then I'm going to do root 2 times 11, which is going to be 11 root 2. And then root 2 times 6 root 2 is going to be 6 times 2, which is 12. Okay? Simplifying that gives me 23 plus 17 root 2. So my fraction now is going to look 23 plus 17, plus 17 root 2 divided by 49. Again, at this stage, you may start to doubt yourself. You may start to feel that something must have gone wrong because you can't find a way of cancelling those down or simplifying them. Don't forget, with the higher paper, they're very likely to throw some awkward fractions in there as well. And that's actually what they've done here. So I'm going to write this out as two different fractions, and I'm going to say that it's 23 over 49, add 17 over 49 root 2. And at that point, I'm in the format A plus B. So A equals 23 over 49, and B equals 17 over 49. Okay? So quite a lot of steps involved in that question. But if you take your time, if you trust that you know what you're doing, and you trust each step without worrying about the big picture, then it's perfectly possible to get this done and to get the full marks on it, okay? As always, any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.